Hello and welcome, you are gaming with me, Brothgar, and today I am doing a product review on these Razer Blackshark headphones of mine. I picked these up at Best Buy for the price of 120 bucks. Now first off here, as you look at the packaging, you can tell it is definitely nice packaged to fit for its price range. I mean, they have the nice display there, the graphics match and whatnot, even as you go around back. And as you open up the package, you even get greeted with nice little graphics on the inside, so it's kind of like the experience as you go through it. I mean, all in all, everything is in a really good place and it seems very secure, something like it's not going to get damaged as it is shipped. So obviously the packaging is very good, but how is the product? Well, the product in my mind is absolutely cool. I mean, check it out. I mean, this is probably, to me, one of the coolest looking headsets I've ever seen as far as the gaming go. I mean, they have this really old look and they kind of remind me of some old headphones my dad had back when I was younger. They had like the giant cable coming out and you plugged it in. It's like a 5 or 6 millimeter port or whatever it is, and they kind of had these big old ball things and they kind of resembled this. They were very cool, and this has a real nice retro look to it. Alright, so one of the things that really attracted me to these headphones was the metal structure and the fact that the wires are actually on the outside. Now, as I look at a lot of modern headphones and even the headphones I've had in the past, the wires tend to be tucked on the inside and run through little corridors that are all engineered into the thing. And sometimes even with these collapsible headphones, as we work through it, the thing is that those wires in there constantly have to bend to adapt to whatever you're doing, and eventually they're going to wear out, just like my old headphones. I mean, they lasted a good 4 years or so, but I feel like this is going to be a really durable design. Now, the microphone boom is actually really quite cool. It's kind of got this nice look to it, being all kind of metal and with the wire and these cool little, like, almost looks like coil springs, but they're really not springs. It's just kind of something that's wrapped around, and it just works off friction. And of course, this slides in and out, so it's very adjustable. Now, as far as the construction go, there is one inherent problem that has come with it, and that is with these little clips here right on the back. You can tell they make a little bit of a clicking noise. Now, right out of the bag, this one on the left hand side seemed to be a lot looser than the one on the right hand side, and it kind of sounded like somebody was ticking your ear, kind of like tap 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 tap, and it was really annoying, and it was whenever you moved your head. So I ended up kind of just sticking a little something behind that clip, and that solved the problem. However, I think a real advancement in this headset would be to take this plain metal strap you see right here, and you have a little flange that they just bend over rather than some sort of clippy job that then makes a little bit of noise. That would save them money in manufacturing, and it'd be a better product because it wouldn't ever make a noise. So there's some people that do complain about that, and I think it's one of those problems you might just have to fix right out of the bag, which is one of those deterrent things. You just paid 120 bucks for this. I shouldn't have to fix it right when I get it. However, the sound quality is quite awesome. I mean, this thing it's probably about twice as good as my old headphones, and they were pretty good headphones back in the day that costed about 60-50 bucks type deal. And I gotta admit, the noise cancellation is one of the benefits of this. So I usually have an AC machine that runs in the window behind me, and that makes a lot of noise. This here really helps to not really cancel it, but it takes that sound and puts it in the background. It's kind of like cupping your ears rather than plugging ears. It's not like you cut out all noise, you do definitely reduce it. However, this does kind of give you a weird sensation when you're talking with the headphone on. You don't necessarily know exactly how loud you're talking. Just cover your ears and talk for a bit and you kind of understand what I'm saying there. However, the microphone quality is really quite good. So here's an example. Okay, so this is an example of how my voice sounds with no tweaks or background noise. This is just plain stock right through the mic. Alright, now this is the sound of the microphone as it's been tuned a little bit. What I've gone through is I've added a bit of bass and I've made sure the levels are a little bit higher. One thing I've noticed with this microphone is that it does seem to keep the levels a little bit lower than I would like. I tend to end up using boost a bit to bring the volumes back up. And again, as you boost it, you tend to introduce a bit of hissing depending on how much you have to boost it. However, on the other end of things, when you get into, let's say here, TeamSpeak, Skype, Ventrilo, even Steam chat, things tend to get boosted to the levels that are acceptable anyhow, so you don't really have to work too much with that leveling and boosting microphone, etc. The levels work out well. However, when you do get into area like Audacity here, you can notice that the audio graph tends to be a little bit small as compared to something like my blue microphone here, my Yeti tends to be something that I keep way down, like 30-40%, whereas this is definitely 100% and boosted. So there is a bit of a difference there that is to be noted. Okay, so now that we know that the microphone can definitely perform, this is one of these headsets that I would absolutely want anybody who's doing dual comms to have. I mean, if they don't have something like my Blue Yeti here, which is just, you know, a phenomenal microphone for what it is, which costs about the same as the headset, maybe about $100 or so, as opposed to this. This is a very good alternative to, let's say, recording, or maybe I have to record on the go where I don't have a stand where I can set up the microphone in front of me. This does a really good job at recording. It's probably one of the best headset microphones I have ever heard, and way better than anything I've owned in the past. So that is one true benefit of that. Of course, it does give you that sound that you're, you know, a few inches away from your mouth, and that really can't be helped, especially when you're talking about comparing it to something that sits on your desk and is purpose built for doing recording in that. But as a gaming headset, I believe this is just really quite good. Another downside, though, I've noticed is that there is no inline kind of volume control. Now, this isn't a real big deal if you have like a volume control on your keyboard, or for me, I run this through my Blue Yeti, so I have a volume control right here on the knob in front of me. However, you know, that could be a deterrent if you don't have an easy way to adjust your volume. Now, the cord, on the other hand, is one of those things that, in my opinion, is 2 feet too short. Now, it does work really quite well if you can plug it into your front of your computer, which happens to be, let's say, right next to you, or there's a port where you can plug in your audio and potentially your microphone that sits on your desktop. There you have plenty of room to move around, and it is about the right length. However, I have some sort of feedback issue if I plug in the headsets to the front of my computer, so I have to go all the way to the back, and there it does feel short. I feel like I could stand up and walk away from it and kind of run out of cord really quick. Now, that does give you one thing though, as the splitter is right about in the middle of the cord, and this is basically just a little audio jack that clips back and forth. Now, this does a really good job, and let's say maybe you were to anchor down this end of the cord, if you were to stand up and walk away, that this would detach and hopefully not try to pull the wires out of your headset. So, I mean, there's kind of a safeguard there. However, for a headset of this price, I would expect there to be some sort of inline microphone mute or inline volume control, as opposed to not really having that. However, the sound quality is so good in such a way that, you know, maybe it makes up for that. Another key factor of this headset is the detachable boom. Now, you have this little nub here right at the base of your microphone, and if you pull this, it's pretty firm to come out, so it's not just going to fall out. That's why I have to work at it. Is this little 3.5mm jack that sits inside of this round pit right there. And that detaches, leaving you with a very nice slim headset. And of course, they give you this nice cool little machined piece that fits right in the side of your headset, so you can plug that up. And there you go. Now you have something that kind of keeps anything out of that port, and you know, it looks aesthetically nice. And of course, you don't have to have the microphone boom right in front of you. Like, you don't have to carry it around. So that is a very nice feature that they've included, and it does seem very sturdy and robust. Not to mention, I don't know, maybe you want to put this microphone elsewhere. Okay, so now we know about the headset. Is it $120 good? Well, I tell you what, $120 to me is very expensive for a headset. It is about twice as much as I'm comfortably willing to spend on a headset, but I decided to give it a try to see if I like it, and if I didn't, you know, I suppose I could always take it back and trade it out for something else. Now, all in all, with the inherent problems, the clip, the cord being a little bit short for my need, and there's no inline features, I'm starting to kind of feel like, you know what, maybe this headset, I feel like $80 is a really good price that I would be willing to pay for this headset. However, it does look absolutely cool, and being that I do a lot of YouTube videos, I want a headset that looks pretty good, and not to mention, overall, it is just kind of a slim headset. It's not very big, it doesn't kind of, you know, it's not fat. A lot of these pieces that go over your head, I mean, it's like that wide as opposed to this one. And not to mention, it is very comfortable. I've been wearing this headset now for, I want to say 8-10 hours or so, because I really wanted to see if I'm going to like it on my head, and absolutely, it is completely comfortable all day long. And I wear glasses, and it doesn't really affect me. So that's a really, really big bonus there. So that does kind of bump up, you know what, I'm really starting to like this headset. Now on the topic of comfort, I have seen reviews about people with a little bit larger heads, or claiming that they have larger heads, saying that, you know what, it isn't quite as comfortable. Now of course with my head, I suppose I'm like medium or small, not particularly sure, but I guess if you claim to have a very wide noggin, you may have some comfort issues. And by that, it probably has to do with the fact that this here, again, is a metal construction, and it does a pretty sturdy job of forcing the headphones on your head. And being that it's, you know, metal, it doesn't really extend width-wise as much as we might see with other headsets. So I mean, there's that. Not to mention, when it kind of comes to setting up the headphones, there's these little knurled screws here on the side that you just loosen, you move it to where you want it, and then you tighten, and that sets it. Now of course that is kind of like set and forget, which is really nice, as opposed to something that kind of extends, that's all clippy like, and you have to extend it and extend it, and eventually it just wears out. This isn't going to wear out. It's just kind of got this knob. You turn it, you loosen it, you get to where you like it, you tighten it back down, bada bing, bada boom, it's set, it works for you. And for me, that's a real advantage. But again, I guess it just fits my head, and for me, it is really quite comfortable. Okay, so in conclusion, as far as these headsets, how are they? Well, I've worn them for a few days now, and I've actually gone through the manual, and they actually recommend stretching out this top piece here, pretty much just bending it backwards, and that kind of reduces the pressure on the ears, increasing the comfort that much more. And I also feel like, you know, as I've been wearing these headsets, I've discovered a whole nother layer of like audio quality, not only in games, but in things like dubstep and vocals and all this stuff. It is really taking my audio listening experience to the next level. The microphone works really, really well for working online and talking to people. There is kind of that real balance that I have with the microphone of, you know, getting it a little bit too close to my mouth to the point where it might be picking up kind of some puffs, and like I overcome the pop filter, and kind of getting it too far away to where my voice is a bit softer. However, I feel like it does a very good job as long as you can kind of play with it and find that sweet spot that works for you. And you know, what can I say? It's probably one of the best mics I've heard so far. So as it's gone on, even though I feel like $120 is still kind of a steep price, it's really grown on me over the last couple of days. And it also kind of makes me feel a bit special, which is kind of something I was kind of looking for. I wanted to feel special, and it kind of feels special with these headsets, not only just because of its look, but I feel like I've kind of got a really good, durable product that's going to last me a long time. And anybody else that has the same product, I kind of feel like, you know, I might have a bit of a brotherhood with it. It's kind of one of those cool connections that I have with a piece of gear, because, you know, it kind of makes sense. It's on your head, and music is a really big part of, you know, what I do in a daily time, or, you know, audio in a game is also a big aspect to it. So I feel like it's really enhanced my gaming experience, and for that, it is definitely kind of worth looking into. It is stereo, so I can't really explain how much better it would be or worse it would be as opposed to something that's like a 5.1 or a 7.1 headset. However, I know that, you know, you can still hear footsteps and whatnot, and you still only have 2 ears. So I've never really understood the 7.1 surround sound stuff for headsets, but I can't compare them just because I've never actually used one, and it doesn't make sense in my scenario where I have to record with stereo audio anyhow. So it makes sense that I go with a stereo headset. On top of that, the one thing I noticed in the end is that I don't have to turn the volume up as much as I did with my other headset. Obviously, there's less in the background, so the music is easier to hear, and not to mention I feel like these are more sensitive, so I feel like I could turn them up to a higher volume than I could with my previous headset. Ultimately, I'm definitely giving this my thumbs up, a seal of approval. I enjoy these headsets. I'm going to be enjoying them for many years to come, and awesome. Right, so that's my review for the Razer Blackshark headphones. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button on the way out. If you have any questions, comment below. I'll do my best to get back to you and respond with any answers I can give you about the product, hopefully. And at any rate, if you haven't joined the community already, you know, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you. Thanks for watching. I'm Brothgar, and have a great day. Peace!